Welcome back, everyone. And after a nail biting game number two, to say the very least, especially from top on that Nasus, we are back at it again for game number three between Storm Wolves and STARCASTERS. That's a bit difficult to say. I'm joined once again by Mayhem on the mic and on the buttons behind the screen. How are you feeling?
I get to cast. It's exciting, and I want to add to what you were saying. Yeah, I am very surprised that I didn't mess up Stormwolves and Starcasters last game. They're such similar names, like in length, and they both start with S.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been working well. My tongue's been nice to me tonight, which it usually does its own thing. So, I've been enjoying the games, excited, having a good old time. Talking to Mercury about D&D, so we're having some bonding behind the scenes as well. Nice fun. But other than that, I am ready to get into this game number 3. I think the teams are just about ready, so we'll be into Champ Select in just a few moments. But exciting stuff here. Grand Finals just around the corner. One of these teams is going to make it. One of these teams is going to be playing loser bracket. I think. If I'm wrong, they're gone, which is... a sadness, but someone must win, someone must go on, Mercury.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to see one of these teams go, especially considering both of them have had such incredible performances, right? Obviously, we talk about game one, Cletus, the entire roster, Dark on that Jinx popping off. Game number two, switch things around. Now Top is the one popping off on that Nasus, and looks like the band's going to be similarly here, the Jax and the Lissandra. The first one's on the chopping block, but I wouldn't be too surprised if the Nasus gets that priority.
Yeah, Mumu being banned away, I believe that is for Cat. Could also be for Griff in the jungle. Is Griff still in the jungle? I didn't catch it in time.
Looks like it, yes.
Alrighty. Yes, indeed he is. Okay, so he's going to jungle for the last 2 games. That's good for him. They could have, in fact, asked Big Boy Blasm if he wanted to play, but unfortunately wasn't available, busy adminning. So no Echo jungle for today, but I'm sure
The greatest
we'll be
tragedy
alright.
of all.
Yep. We're lacking in the Echo department. It'd be so funny if Griff picks up Echo this game. Aatrox for Cletus in the top lane. He's looking to break out of that Ornn mold. Sick of it. Stop putting me on tanks. Let me kill some people. Tempest might be picking up the Belveth.
Although, Cletus has been killing people even on those tanks.
Yeah, he has. Doing the most damage almost 2 games in a row. So, imagine what he could do on a damage dealing ADC. And again, Lulu being picked up and a steal away from the Jinx. A mirror from the last game.
It's going to be interesting to see if they go back towards that Cogmore Lulu, right? I think it worked decently well. It just didn't get the support.
I don't think it's their fault.
Yeah, they just didn't get really the support Tempest that they needed to in order to thrive.
I feel like a Nasus ban would have been pretty good here as well. Maybe they go for it in the next round of bans.
Yeah, I doubt we see it here as the R3, as it will be again that Jinx Nami locked in. We're expecting the Cogmore once again. Maybe the Ornn as well. I think that combo worked pretty well. And even in game number 1, that sort of thematic style of composition ultimately put them over the line. And here is the Cogmore going to be locked in.
I feel like Cletus hovering that Aatrox was a beg. It was a cry for someone to please help me. Please, just look, I can play other things. Look at this, Aatrox, huh? I can play Aatrox. They're not going to lock in Shaco. Get this off my screen. Thank you.
It could be like Faker, Faker always hovers in solo queue. He always hovers Garen in the Korean server because that's the first one that comes up name-wise. And then when he's in the English servers, he hovers Aatrox. So it could just be a bit of a homage to a player of similar skill.
Similar skill. Okay. Go on. Cletus is good, but let's be real here. Okay. Wukong being picked up. Stolen away, which I like a lot. Very, very nice. Broken in this meta. Gonna maybe help Cogmore out. Good on the ganks.
It definitely has a strong sort of synergy with this bot lane here. You know, you can do a bit of the bouncy castle between Wild Growth and that Cyclone, as it will be Sejuani on the other side to sort of round out that early draft. Neither team going beyond the bot lane and the jungle. So we'll see what R4 is in terms of that blind pick, as Cassiopeia, first one on the chopping block once again, as the Silas joins her.
Yep, make sure you use your M coins in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Predictions are up. We've got 10 points on Starcasters at the moment. Let's bring those numbers up. That's some children numbers there. Here it goes. It's starting to crank up. Everyone looking for Starcasters, I believe that's what it's saying at the moment. I don't know how I'm feeling. I misread the situation last game. I thought that there was a big chance for Starcasters to win, and they kind of got slapped around in that game too. I'm not gonna lie. It was really good there for Stormwolves. Ari gonna get picked up here. That's gonna be fun. Ivan, what are these meme hovers? Stop.
I mean, it could be the Wukong top, give Cletus a bit of time to pop off on that carry. But yeah, the blind Ari is a bit interesting. Back on duty once again. And I'm going to be honest, last game I wasn't really a huge fan of that Xin Zhao. I think the Wukong here, this as a whole is rounding out to be that very dominant composition. We'll have to see what this mid laner is. You're expecting AP, although it could go either way, right? Cogmore does have mixed and true damage across the board. Wukong has that armor shred. It's not locked into an AP, but you're kind of expecting it. Could be the Aurelion Soul again. Looked somewhat dominant. Cassidy. Interesting. I mean, I do see it into the Sejuani Ari, and especially if it is the Cho'Gath, that's a very... I mean, oh, that could be interesting. But I think probably it will be the Cho'Gath for the synergy with Sejuani. And overall, besides the Jinx, a very heavy, magic damage composition. Lee Sin in towards that top lane. I think it could be Lee Sin top. But either way, very interesting top side for the side of Stormwolves. Trying something different, yeah, will be Lee Sin top.
Going Lee Sin.
Like that matchup. That seems a bit of a desperation pick here for top. Castellan, again, with the Cogmore, with the Lulu, with the Ornn, they have so much scaling on their side. Get ready for the spam in chat. Monka W point right into the clock. 1 out of 16. Once that level 16 lands, I think the game's just over. It's going to be up to Stormwolves to end this early. With the Ari, with Lee Sin, it's definitely a possibility, but we'll have to see.
Look, guys, I'm going to need you all to bet in the chat right now. What is this, 5,600 to Starcasters? 10 on Stormwolves? What are we doing? Did you watch last game? This is obviously an even matchup. What the hell's going on, guys? Please. Someone needs to make some money in the chat. 10 on Stormwolves? I mean...
Yeah, that's a bit rough.
If the odds were based on, like, who bet... the guy who put 10 is a millionaire if he wins. Yeah, great compositions are all around. I don't know how Cassidy goes with the new items. I haven't seen him at all in a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see at the very least. But we'll wait to see as the spectator delay does catch up. I'm trying to think of how Stormwolves and this composition does actually team fight, right? At least in Sejuani, it's a very weird combination.
I guess Sej starts off with the Glacial Prism, then we see sort of an insect back into the team. That could work. Ari Charm, not too bad. It's okay. I don't know how I feel about this Lee Sin. I feel like if Tempest goes top lane, I'm going to be sad. Because Ornn's never dying and he's just going to farm and just do Ornn things. So if Tempest ever goes top lane, I'm going to have to message him after the game and ask him a couple questions because that's not the way to go here. Cogmore needs your help. It's one of those infomercial type deals. $1 a day could feed this Cogmore for years to come. please donate now. Tempest get to bot lane. If he gets ahead, then we have other things to talk about here, but otherwise, Sejuani's never going to die if Castellan's ahead, unless he's really ahead. Otherwise, Kog'Maw's the only one who's going to be able to burn through these people, so we really need to get Dark ahead in this game ASAP.
Although, besides the Sejuani, there isn't too much to actually burn through, right? The entire bot side is very, very squishy. Even, Lee Sin, to an extent, probably will build maybe the Hex Drinker eventually, so won't be as squishy as the other three, but, if you're trying to fight while, say you're level 16, you're trying to fight and you cannot protect your backline from this Castellan, I think it's just over, just like that. If Castellan gets on top of Jinx later on, that buys enough time to let Kog'Maw free hit, and by that point, I think the game's just over.
We'll see. I think it's break time, my dude.
Yeah, we'll head into a quick break before this game. Stay tuned, get excited. See you soon. Just about ready to begin here. The deciding game for both of these teams. One moves on to the grand finals. One will leave right here and now. Composition for the side of STARCASTERS. I almost said STARWOLVES. STARCASTERS, very similar across all three of these games.
Here comes the STORMCASTERS.
It's difficult. These teams, they hate us.
I haven't messed it up once, and every time I'm like, damn, I'm proud of myself. How did I do that?
Yeah. But regardless, STARCASTERS, pretty much the same composition, or at least the same style of composition across these three games. Up to see now, again, this is the second game for Lockster here on this Jinx, stealing that away once again. But I think all eyes are probably going to be on top with this Lee Sin.
You can tell Red's a jungler. He gets the ward off, backs, grabs the sweeper, same as Gryffindor. Gryffindor actually a mid laner from way back. I used to play in all sorts of Plats for years, like 4-5 years, I think. And he was my rival mid laner. He was a sandbagging Platinum 1 mid lane player. And I would beat him in lane, and it was funny. But he's jungling now today. I think he might be the mid substitute or something, or just a friend. Not sure what the situation is, but he is subbing in for jungle today. And his early game, last game, was there was a bit left to be desired, but we'll see how he goes this game.
Yeah, I believe last game, neither Gryffindor or Karina had killed. They both ended the game like 0-2 and 0-3.
Yeah, there was very little impact from the Galio last game. We'll see how it goes.
I think it was sort of balanced out by
wasn't necessary.
By top. Yeah.
Wasn't necessary. A couple of bit donations in the chat. What up, Casual? How you doing, Beats? Sorry, my streamer instincts just kicked in and saw little sparklies in the chat. Couldn't help myself. Okay, so top's pushing in pretty hard, but look at this. This is how the matchup's going now. Wait till Cletus actually has items. Then you won't damage him, and he's just going to do that much damage to you still. And hopefully Cletus builds heal cut earlier this game, because top for sure is going to be building some Healy boys. Plus the W allows him to sustain really nicely in lane. That's one of the best parts of heal sustain Lee Sin, lane Lee Sin. So heal cut will be nice for him when he gets that. Both junglers path down to bot lane. Very nice clear from Gryffindor, allows him to be in the enemy jungle before he even finishes his clear. Very, very easily will be at this scuttle first. Karina has the push onto mid lane. Again, Lockster has the push onto bot lane, same as last game, which means Gryffindor has full bot lane river control 2 games running.
Yeah, nice trade there in mid for Karina. Going to be healed up for the most part, but still keeping that pressure up. We see the top lane now with Grasp once again. Cletus looks to be quite dominant in this lane. A bit refreshed, I have to imagine, after a bit of a shellacking that was last game, to say the very least. I could say more, but this is a PG-13 stream.
No, it's you're wrong.
Gryffindor with the back has the Sheep.
Tune in after the games for strippers and blackjack for our R-rated stream. No, I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
I'm about to get fired. I need to stop. What were we saying, Sheen? Yeah. Whoa, wait. That's a good point. Thank you. Holy Sheen Sejuani. I understand where the build path is going to, but Sheen this early? I mean, he better make use of that damage early on.
You have to imagine no one's going to be expecting the extra damage. So hopefully for Gryffindor, you'd expect a few fights here and there with W getting that auto attack off, because Sejuani does a fair amount of damage if you really think about it.
Easy Life maxing E, so is going to be struggling to get those last hits under the tower. Usually the tower hits the caster minion once, you Q it, it dies. With E being his choice of max and not Q, means he's not going to be able to kill those. That's a bit unfortunate. And he gets less of a magic resist shield when he goes in for trades too. So makes the lane a little bit tougher for him.
Yeah, nice trade in the top lane by Top. Continuing that dominance, continuing to push in. We've seen this in all 3 games. But Cleaver's still holding on, still continuing to farm, and that's really all that you can expect or hope for from this from this Ornn, is just to get items, to get gold, to get experience. That's all you really care about, because again, this is such a scaling composition.
Yeah, that is 3 games in a row where they've drafted sort of lanes where they were expected to be pushed in. Mid lane, top lane, and ADC at the moment. All 3 lanes have no control over the map, which means any fight in the jungle, any objectives like Dragon, are just freely warded here by Gryffindor and Stormwolves. And look at this. Ara can just shove the lane and move around. They can maybe go for a dive on bot lane. Tempest is here though.
Yeah, they're looking for something bot lane. Fair amount of experience difference in favor of Stormwolves in this bot lane. See, about just under a quarter of a level.
Vitus has TP and ult, but has no mana, so can't really help if they intend to go for this dragon. But again, they don't even know what's happening. They have no way of knowing. They can maybe guess at it because bot lane just left, but otherwise, Top might even dive. T clears a load of mana.
Big engage there, looking for the ult, you have to imagine, but Cletus out of mana for the time being. This top lane is relentless, even though the CS is even, just keeping him there, forcing him to stay, and honestly could just whittle him down and find a kill with that Dragon's Rage. Otherwise though, again, maintaining the pressure is all you want to see.
Easy Life will eventually be able to just farm in this lane and be fine. He's taking a bit of a beating, a bit of a CS deficit. That is just the melee to ranged sort of matchup. That's how it goes. You sacrifice your health, try and get farm in the other game, and try and do your best. He's not going to be able to back. I guess he's trying to bait in tops. He does take a tower shot there, so a little bit of a bait. And we have a gank here from Tempest. Was watered out. Tempest gank up here is going to be nice. Finally allow Cletus to back. He has teleport to follow that up too if he so chooses. Kryn uses his TP to mid lane. Probably won't need that in the near future, so get a bit extra CS, get to lane earlier. It's the best way to use it at the moment.
Another interesting build path here for Top. Going lethality against Ornn.
Griff's going in, he's by himself, but look at the damage.
And of that, yeah, Griffin going in. Dark free hitting continually. Tidal wave.
Oh no. Oh, good flash.
In so much trouble. The cleanse is there, and so is Easy Life. Going to be forced off for the time being. So at the end of the day, 0-0. Loose eggs for both of these teams as they'll go back to their respective lanes. A few summoners burned across the board here. Nothing too major.
Easy Life doesn't do enough damage to turn that fight, and Gryffindor, he hasn't backed in so long that all he has is that Sheen that he picked up a long time ago, minutes ago we were talking about this, and there was no one there to follow up. There was no one around, so he ults in, almost kills him because of how much damage he has with that Sheen, but has no extra damage to help him out, has no extra items to help him tank, so has to run away. and
Right in the top lane.
managed to get
Top,
out.
Yeah. Yeah, top has, interestingly enough, the components for Duskblade. Going for a lethality Lee Sin.
Possibly Eclipse.
Possibly, yeah. Very interesting.
Alfred
into
Shield. Ooh,
Wukong
decent
top
damage
side.
there. Wow.
Yeah, still does a fair amount of damage with that Q. But, I mean, against very heavily armor stacking champions in both the Wukong and the Ornn, this could be very dangerous.
Oh.
That Wukong, never mind. The Cyclone is there. The First Blood is secured for the side of Starcasters and continuing to try and find what they lost in game number 2.
Yep, Karina has no Spirit Rush, so he could not get away from that as he was using it bot lane. That was probably called out, so wonderful placement on that gank. No way for him to escape. Doesn't have Flash either. They also saw that being used. And then down the bot lane, Lockster has used the Super Mega Death Rocket to stop the back of Dark. He had a not the best reset, but good enough. But, okay, he doesn't have W to get out of the top, but completely misses the Bellows Breath on that fight. He is just completely out trading in this top lane and healing it all back afterwards. Really well played by him. He might even go for the dive.
Easy Life almost in trouble as well. Not going to commit the ultimate just yet, but top could be in so much
Dragon's
trouble.
Rage. He kills him.
If he lands any damage here...
He kills him. Why did he not kill him?
You have to be careful of the E there.
Oh my god. Cletus.
The Forge God going to land. Will he predict the flash? It will just be a ward hop back to safety. But both these top laners playing quite respectfully of their opponents.
Yeah, if top had kicked him against the wall, he would have just executed him before Cletus even gets an ability off. So I guess he was worried that if he kicked him and Cletus bellows breath at the same time, then he wins that fight. But I don't know, even with feel like the damage, it doesn't even matter if he stuns him. Top stuck, Cletus no full call Forge God, no real way of getting in, so
Life's here. That's going to be the solo kill on towards Cletus, and now I don't even know if Easy Life can claim this kill. Rift Walk just about available, but the ward hop might be enough. Flash and will secure it. Trades a fair amount of time for that kill, and honestly worth at the end of the day. Still top continuing to show the prowess even in defeat.
Yep, Easy Life says, you're not getting away, I don't care what I have to use. Early game Snowball and Cassidy, hell yes, I'm grabbing that kill. Cletus doesn't really care too much about the death, he is on, so whatever. He'll take getting his Cassidy ahead, that sounds like an amazing deal for him. Bit of an overstay by its top, didn't realize he's getting roamed on, but again, there's so much pressure from Stormwolves that Gryffindor just takes it for free.
Yeah, Tempest has to get this this Herald out rather. The dragon will be secured. That will be just under 3 plates secured for this Wukong. Still a little bit of a gold injection, but still behind about 300 gold from primarily the bot lane. You can see 30 CS is that difference. Playing incredibly well, but again,
900 gold gap, dive from Gryffindor.
Hope to join as Gryffindor is there. Saves Redimus for the time being. Super Mega Death Rocket, not enough to
Easy Life
find
is
it
bot.
now. Easy Life is here, but if we'll just force out both the Ghost rather and the heal, that might just be enough for V3 in the bot side for the time being.
Oh!
The power of this Jinx, the flash, so close to securing it. The Stormwolves, a game of inches.
I think Red had his shield up that whole time and baited the flash out from Lockstar. Thinks he's going to get it with that last ult attack. Perfect time to flash. Nice combo from Cletus, but he's low.
Yeah, Karina forcing them off the tower. Cletus will get solo killed in the top lane as well. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, they're onto the final plate. It's disaster across the map here for Starcasters. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And just like that, the momentum so heavily shifts in favor of Stormwolves.
This is the Stormwolves that we saw in Game 2. These are the Stormwolves that potentially can win this entire tournament. They are playing really well this game. Pressure across the board. Dragons coming to them one by one, diving into the bot lane, grabbing the tower. They are playing the macro game. They won the draft in terms of all the lanes are winning. The scaling is probably still on the side of STARCASTERS, so don't count them out just yet. But this early game is very well played here by STORMWOLVES. And can they translate this into a victory? We will see. They will be able to pick up this Herald. I don't think STARCASTERS can go for this. The pressure on top side is too much. Top is a very thick boy right now. Doesn't have kick yet, but will have it up by the time someone rocks up. They should be able to take this just fine. STARCASTERS sort of realize what's going on, but aren't putting more pressure on bot lane. This is just the chokehold that Stormwolves have. Vision control. The whole map has got little red dots all over it. I can see one blue ward right now. Red's doing his best, but it is a struggle, as no vision means they don't know when they're taking objectives. They can't make their own moves. They couldn't go for the bot tower. They had no idea. A couple of people were just going to jump out of the bush and kill them. So had to back off and just give the whole entire map to Stormwolves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, 2 minutes left until that dragon comes up. If you are STARCASTERS here, the name of the game is consolidating, getting as much gold as you can in the pockets before that dragon, because you kind of have to fight it. I don't see a world where they can't. As Gryffindor could be in a bit of trouble now. Cyclone, the polymorph, the wombo combo, and bit too close to the sun there for Gryffindor. Melted down, and seeing the true power of this composition, even if they are behind 2k gold, they can still pop off, Easy Life encroaching on level 12, just about on this wave. You'd have to imagine 4 more levels until that dreaded 3rd rank Rift War.
Yeah, that is a completed Bork. And you don't have a Nasus this time to make him auto-attack one at a time. He actually is scary this game. So you're going to have to contend with the damage that Cogmore can put out. And when you jump in, headbutt into nothing and just miss, feel free to feel the wrath of this Cogmore after that. That's going to be how these team fights go from now on. And the longer this goes on, Dark's going to get scarier and scarier. He's still so far behind in CS, but an assist will put some nice needed gold into his pocket. Now we're going to be posturing around this dragon pit. 4 members of Stormwolves are not there. STARCASTERS could group up and get something here. They don't realize that Gryffindor is backing, but again, they're not pushing for vision. Their entire jungle is getting vision controlled out the wazoo. They may have to push on the mid lane, which will allow them to push up a bit more safely. But their lack of wards at the moment is really hurting them. Dragon's still got 30 seconds to go, so they have time to get a little bit down before the fight starts. Cletus is just going to give top lane and walk down. I like this idea a lot. He can be there at the start of the fight, get up the call of the Forge God, TP the top lane afterwards, and hopefully get something done. Here it is! Huge!
Huge call of the Forge God, separates them completely, and Gryffindor is just going to fall once again. Rift walk onto the back line, and this is what we were hoping for from Easy Life. Forces them off completely, and just like that, the fight one. You have to imagine Super Mega Death Rocket. Good for 1 as Top is TP down as well.
I saw the command a mile away.
Nice Q ult combo rather for Top. Gets away with their life as mid lane looks to be the posture. 6 seconds on Gryffindor, 10 on Tempest. And what looked like a really good fight from STARCASTERS immediately turned on its head thanks to Lockster.
Top was lining up their Dragon's Rage from a mile away, but they might catch him out here. He gets a bit too aggressive onto Ease Life. But with the amount of damage that Top just dealt to him and got out safely with all of his health, they're going to bully them off this Dragon now. They know Easy Life is 20% health. They know Dark is 20% health. Both of those plays were made by Top. Both of the carries got taken out of this fight by this one man alone. And now with Gryffindor respawning and with the back from Karina, that means they have 5 full health members on the Dragon and they have full control.
Yeah, they're just going to have to give it up. Tempest is too late here. And that puts them on sole point. This is a very dangerous position to be in, especially with Mountain Drake being probably the most powerful of those souls. Finally getting a few other things on the board though. Roa is just about completed. Rage Knife as well. You know, full Smite is here for Tempest as well. So definitely not all is lost at all, but things are looking dicey.
Things looking dicey for sure. We have Harold not going to be able to make it up, but some interesting rollouts for the enemy team. We got Karina in the bot lane. Might even pick up a tower. Cletus struggling to get by, but is currently about to approach the area where he can start forking out some items to people. Bit of usefulness for the Ornn that's been struggling all game. And we'll see. They need to make a couple of picks here. There's a bit behind by STARCASTERS. Dark is looking really nice. That fight for them around the dragon, pretty good too, but just fumbled it there at the end. Really nice plays by STORMWOLVES. And then again, I've been talking about the vision the whole game, but insane the amount of vision that STORMWOLVES have on this map right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's weird to see because even though top is 2 levels ahead of Cletus, Lee Sin doesn't really feel like one of those champions who is that powerful. And that's my personal opinion. I know people think Lee Sin is strong, but like doesn't have the same threat that Nasus would in this situation.
Oh, for sure.
Right. You change nothing but the champion, and I think that game is possibly already over, or at least Inhib is gone. I just think that this Lee Sin, while potent, just doesn't have the same, you know, other side of the map threat that Nasus provided, and honestly, doesn't even have the team fight capabilities that Nasus does as well. The Wither to completely invalidate Dark in those
Yeah, that
fights.
was really broken. I'm so glad that they banned Nasus this game. Otherwise, we'd be in a whole world of hurt. This game would probably already be over. Gold count is still relatively even, all things considered. But this is a lot of farm here. Lockster has 220 farm at 21 minutes 40 seconds. Insane numbers here. Second item complete, going for that Gale Force. Same build as we saw first game from Dark. And Lockster is going to be a menace in his team fights. I think he needs one more item. And he is just OP, good to go, lock it in. Red buff available on him as well. I wonder if they just go for Baron right now, try and bait them in. Soul Point going to be soon too. And that is a Mountain Soul, not very good if you get that. There's not much of a comeback from that point on. It's either dragon or nothing. Top is just going to get out alive here. Nice kick. I'm surprised that the kick is not... Okay, Dragon's Rage is a longer range than the Cyclone? Because he kicked him and didn't get knocked up the whole time.
He was just out of range, it seems.
I'm surprised that that's a longer range than Cyclone.
Yeah. Very, very interesting commitment of the ult, though. It will be up just before the dragon that they have to fight for, at least.
Yeah, it's fine to burn it this early on.
Yeah. And same with the dragon's rage, that will be available as well. I feel like at this point you just stay in the side lane, stay farming as much as you can. This Cogmore, to imagine, is so close to getting that Ginsu's online. Level 14 and a half for Easy Life as well. So when that level 16 comes knocking, it'll be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I'm liking how scaled he is right now. Dark behind, but getting up there as well. But Easy Life, in that last fight, he was almost 4v1 killing everybody in the back line. That's what we need from him. It's still possible. He almost got to that point last game on the Aurelian Soul, but they just didn't have the time to get him there. If they can delay and get him enough time to do so, he will scale up like a monster. And I'm excited to see Dark get to a point where he can play the game as well. Last 2 games, we've just been seeing Dark farming, because that's all he really can do. not a whole lot of plays being made in his area, so not a lot of opportunities for him to get super scaled up. But Locks are just free with the rockets in the early game, just can shove them in. Gets to farm up nice. 240 farm now. He is insane as hell, and Dragon is about to spawn. This is Soul Point. This is do or die, and this is going to be a massive 5v5. Look at that mini-map. Everyone's grouping up.
Yeah. Dark hasn't backed, so it's going to be a lot less effective in this fight without that Ginsu's on board. 2 items just...
He has 2k gold in his inventory, by the way. But so does Lockstar. Neither ADC is backed.
It could be a very precarious fight though, as Easy Life is level 15 with the completed Seraphs and a fully stacked
Here we go.
Would potentially make the difference. This could be the fight that breaks the camel's back. 6k left on the Dragon as the Call of the Forge God going to land towards 3 members. Cyclone not going to land in time as the tidal wave land on back. But see what Easy Life can do. Top, where is the ultimate Super Mega Death Rocket going to land as well? Easy Life dives into 3. Smite going to be secured. It will be on the side of Tempest, but look at the fight. It will be in favor of Stormwolves. They're running for the hills. That's a double kill. That's a triple kill for Karina. And it's just Easy Life left standing. The Baron is ready to go, and they're just going to claim it.
Massive team fight. You can really see the differences in ADC item advantage in that fight. My god, did Loxa do so much damage. They are going to get the Baron off this play as well, kill 4 members, but very importantly, ladies and gentlemen, that is not Soul Point. They stole it away from them. It is going to put a little bit of extra time for them to try and get back into this game. It's not completely and utterly over yet. Gold lead 6k. It's looking dire. But I think the Mountain Soul would have probably been the nail in the coffin, and they would not have been able to come back from that point with this gold lead and with the Mountain, but they have a chance. They still have the smallest fighting chance. They can do this, Mercury.
I mean, we'll have to see if they can, right? Level 16 just on the horizon for this Cassidy. That's 2 items for this Cogmore now. If ever there was a time, this is where they need to go. This is, I mean, the final chance that they'll get, really. Otherwise, the reverse sweep is on the board here for the side of Stormwolves. And what a story that would be from a pretty disastrous game 1.
Cletus is 14. He's going to start upgrading all the items of his teammates. And here is going to be a big fight under this tower, I think. It looks very explosive. Top looking to push Easy Life off the wings. Easy Life wants to get behind, but you can't do that if you get pushed off. So really well played by Top. Won't allow that Caster easy access to the back line, but look at the damage coming out from Lockstar. Half health Tempest in 2 auto attacks.
For Ginsu's upgrade as well. The Seething Sorrow for Dark here. Wave going to push in towards this tower, and it's just going to fall on down. Inhibitor will join it in the grave. What can they really do? They can't do anything here to push them off. Just waiting for some opportunity to fight, but Stormwolves, they're just not giving it over.
Free top lane, very close to 16 here for Cassidy. That's going to be a nice power spike for him. But it's still going to be required to play a really well-played team fight in order to make use of this huge power spike on him. Has fully stacked both of his stackable items, so he's pretty much good to go once he hits that 16. Tempest looking for something, but sticking his head out too far might get his wings clipped, as he's getting poked down a decent amount before he can even get into the fight. And yeah, if you don't know that you're ready to go, Jinx is just going to bonk you back, and here goes something.
Yeah, Tempest is going to be forced in towards the back line thanks to the Dragon's Rage. Call the Forge God as well, looking to try and find Karina, but the stopwatch will save him. Easy Life trying to find something. The silence isn't enough, and that could be it. Jinx is excited. Flash over the wall. Redimus falls on down. It's just Dark left standing, but the Acathian surprise will result in the reverse sweep. A 2-1 victory. And just like that, Stormwolves are heading into the next round of the playoffs.
It was a valiant effort for sure from STARCASTERS, but Lockster free hitting in the back line of that fight made it easy peasy lemon squeezy as Stormwolves take this one down, going on to the final round of this tournament. And what an earned victory that was. Both last game and this game just completely dominated across the map. Full control, wards everywhere, all the objectives besides one that got stolen away this game. These last two games were completely reverse of the first game. Definitely an earned victory here for Stormwolves though.
Yeah, absolutely. Top in game number 2 did something to the mentality of this team, because Stormwolves have just turned things around off of the back of, I wouldn't say one individual player. For the side of Stormwolves, all of them played incredibly well in this last game. And, credit to them for not losing the mental off of what was a pretty disastrous game 1. I think they only had 1 kill at the end of it. It was, unfortunate to see, but they were able to turn it around. And credit again, to the entirety of STARCASTERS, but Cletus in the top lane in particular, on this Ornn, had so many highlight plays, even in their 2 losses.
He almost did most damage again the last game, by the way.
Yeah.
1, 4, and 3, and he almost outdamaged his entire team. He beat Kassadin in damage for that game. Ornn does so much damage, man. But yeah, if we had to give an MVP out for the whole series, I'd say easily top. I don't know about you. I think you probably agree with me. I would love to get Top in here to do a little bit of an interview if you would like that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm 100% down if we can do that. After game number 2, I think absolutely deserved. Without that Nasus pick, possibly they don't even turn the series around.
Unlucky, yeah. I think he's actually left. So we'll try and get someone else. Yeah, everyone in the chat is saying he's gone. Feels bad. Let me join for the interview. Shuri, no, you're not allowed. I think we're gonna have your boy Lockster join the chat.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to see what insight Lockster can provide in towards.
Hey, here he is. Quick, think of questions. Lockster.
Welcome to the call, Lockster. I think you're muted right now, but
oh, he's gone.
I have no permission to speak.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, righto. All right, cool. Lockster, how does it feel to be carried by Nasus? That's the real question.
Oh yeah, good thing we had Nasus.
Dude.
Otherwise, not looking good.
I mean, that second game, that would be feels good for the rest of the team. Just pretty much walk around the map doing whatever you want.
Yeah, because usually you went through bot lane, but just having Viggy absolutely tearing top lane, you didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it's like send 4 members to Nasus or lose the game.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
These are your choices.
Makes it super easy because we literally don't have to do anything. All we need to do is like stare at the minimap, see 4 in top lane, then just go dragon or something.
It's like, imagine if you had a split lane Scion, except when people go there, they also die.
Yeah.
Scion doesn't kill anyone; he just annoyingly kills the towers. It's like that, but on steroids.
Yeah, like I don't even know, man. Like I'm just doing objectives, and then I see 4 top lane, and somehow like Nasus is still getting kills. I think they didn't nerf that champ, man.
They do. Mercury, do you have any questions?
Nasus, what was the thought process? What was going on in the comms when this pick came through? Because it's, let's be honest, it's not a typical
GG
pick.
easy.
Oh well, Nasus W is kind of insane for shutting down things like Kog'Maw and Jinx, so it kind of shuts down the win con. So we thought, even if bot lane doesn't go great, just shove Nasus in there, get a flank TP, put W on Kog'Maw, and then we still win the fight.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it ended up playing out exactly as you thought it would. Nasus taking over the entirety of that game. Even you kind of gapping, the enemy and Dark in particular in those last 2 games, rather, on the Jinx that you kind of stole away in the draft phase. How'd that feel?
Oh yeah, well, I think the cold start. I usually go cold start because I like playing aggro, and I think that's what we're going for with the Zai pick in game 1, but it just didn't work at all. So we swapped over to Jinx, that's sort of just scaling bot lane. And I think I was getting really lucky because I was just out farming. And so by the time Dragon rolls around, I had my Cull like procced, and then the Kog'Maw didn't. So I backed and got like Stormrazor, and he was on like still some bulk components, and then they couldn't contest Drag.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was down to your control over mid and bot in terms of waves. Was that a goal of yours? Did it end up like that accidentally, or were you drafting for that specifically? Because both mid and bot were permanently in control, both second and third game.
Yeah, I know we drafted like that in game 2, and then when they picked Kassadin in game 3, I knew we really had to double down because if we don't get all drags, then I think we just lose that game.
Yeah, definitely visibly a priority for you guys. We don't even need to hear the comms to see that, yeah, you guys were taking dragons on repeat, on spawn, controlling the game completely, and that's probably the main reason why you won. Do you think that you can pull those same moves in the finals? Are you looking to have control over it then?
Is this
in the finals now?
This is semis, my dude.
I thought there were 6 teams left.
There is 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Isn't it? I thought it was 3 for every drag.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty confident that you're about to go on and beat some heads in the finals.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty scared of Weekend and Knights. I think they're definitely the scariest teams.
I think we're getting confirmation it's still quarters. So still a little bit ahead of you.
How about you just ignore me?
Regardless, excited to see that dominance continue further into the playoffs.
Thank you. I hope we did as well as we did those last 2 games because game 1 was not good, not looking good at all.
Well, at least you have something to review, though, right? You always did one of those games you need to go back and look at with the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
do you have any final words to say to the people in chat as well, your fans?
I'm not sure there's many fans other than Genzo. Shout out Genzo. Thanks for shouts, bro.
You've probably gotten a few fans from these games, though.
Yeah, definitely. I saw. I think it was Mayhem got like 16k points off betting for us in game 2, and we had a 4% odds. That was pretty nice. And shout out to my team except for Nay because he's flaming the whole time, and he also flamed me in chat right now. So yeah, and also shout out. I think Nova was being nice as well. Shout out Nova.
Hey, well, chat, listen to that. The players do see what you say, so when you're flaming them, you're bringing them down. When you're giving them good vibes, they win 2 games in a row. So you guys have the power to affect how these guys play. Thanks for coming and joining us. It's been
thanks
fun,
for talking,
man.
guys.
All right, that was a pretty good day.
Yeah, good to hear from the players themselves about their, interesting picks across the game, and obviously, shout out to Top, who couldn't be here, but the Nasus is here in spirit.
And before we go, I'd just like to say, I miss the days when Big Boy Plasm used to play.
Ain't that the truth?
Those were some good days. But I think for me, that's a good night.
Yeah. Good night to everyone else in chat as well, all of the teams, everyone behind the scenes as well. I don't think I'll be joining you next time. I think Quicksand will be. So excited to see how the rest of the playoffs goes, but stay healthy and stay safe, everyone.
This has probably been my first and last cast. I might get put back in the cage after this one. I'm just happy I got let out. So
Gotta unleash the observers every now and then.
All right. Well, yeah, next week should be good and fun. You should all come back, or else I'll be mad. I'll see you all in the chat, because I won't be on screen anymore, and see you then.
No.
Bye.